Good morning, everyone. I'm driving on the way to work. You know how it goes. I want to let you know first off that there is a show I'll be doing tonight with friend Jeff Cote, and it's the No Shit, spelled with a K, podcast by Matt Frazier. It's the same podcast channel that I did before. So if you'd like a link to where he has those, let me know. I will let you have a link to the previous show. It was 3 hours long, so it's not light hearted discussion. Well, it's fun discussion, but it's not like surface level stuff. I mean, and we swim into lots of topics, lots and lots of topics. So I'm sure tonight will be sort of similar. Also, I want to, before I give you the updates from the title here, to let you know that I will get back into doing mystical and Taoist and even anatomical videos, medical related videos when that kind of swings back around in terms of my interest track. It's not like I just forget all that stuff and that Taoism no longer matters and all that. That's not how that works. It's just right now my focus is on developing EP and developing in general electroplasma cosmology, helping us to spread the word about actual science that is explaining how our universe really truly works. I have a number of papers in mind. So in that vein, the paper I'm working on right now is finally the clinical electrical experiments. All the trials were completed, and I am that all together. There will be basically two papers, but the longer paper will contain both, and the file will contain both. The long paper will be put up on ResearchGate, and then the short version will be submitted to JAMA Magazine. I'm sure a lot of you guys don't know it, but that's the Journal of Alternative Medicine. Um, it is very, very fascinating science. There's a lot of effects to do with the solar wind density and therefore protons, and effects to do with the moon, and there are different effects. Different levels of change of electric field based on which phase of the moon we're talking about. There are weather effects in the paper. Pretty much all the stuff that we always have wondered about and that in the alternative scene everybody just takes for granted because that's what they've been taught. I actually stepped through, wade into these heavy waters and show the relationship. And how did I do that? Where other people failed? Well, other people used only a magnetometer, and I used an electromagnetometer, which means I could read electric fields. So that's the difference. So you yourself can go and do these experiments if you're a clinician, I guess, or just if you're in your house. Get yourself a tri-field meter. They no longer make the 100 XE, but you can get a digital tri-field magnetometer, but make sure it measures electric fields as well. And then you will start to see how much electricity really is flowing all over the place. And so in our discussion in the previous podcast, the No Shit podcast, I talked about how much extra free energy there is that we're not using. I'm going to try and hammer that home tonight. I'm going to focus down tonight as much as possible on the alternative archaeology and on the electric universe work that I'm doing. So I'm very excited about getting to talk on that. Also, I wanted to let you know, so there's a company here in Kentucky that will do your self-publishing for you. I'm going to test them out. I'm going to put out my chess book. And probably you guys are like, what chess book? What are you talking about? Well, a couple of years ago, I wrote a book called The Art of Chess, and it was a different way of looking at it. So there are occasional code usage in there, but pretty much it's an entirely different way of coming to play chess. The goal is, when you perfect it, is to actually create spontaneous checkmates, spontaneous, like a Wu Wei checkmate. where the checkmate happens of its own accord. And it happens as a natural outcome of the configuration of the pieces rather than forcefully intellectually. Because in the chess culture there's an emphasis on the intellect being so sharp that you can see everything happening and you know every single move, or you've seen it before in a previous, maybe you watch some kind of Gary Kasparov or Bobby Fischer game. You got the playback and you just memorized how they did it. Right? That's one way of playing chess, and it's a totally valid way. I'm not ranked at all. I don't have an international rank. I don't have a national ranking. I don't play online chess. I just don't go to tournaments. My interest is how the chess, if played correctly, can actually reflect into your life. And that the book is totally for anybody. It's for amateurs. I share a few stories. Some of those stories are really personal stories, and the game extends beyond the actual board. Now, I'm doing it for a couple of reasons. I want to see what people's reactions are. I want to see how well does it rate with people. I also want to see how well this company does before I hand off the Hidden Kentucky project to them, because it is such an important project. And it'd be nice to get this one off my head too. So now that the school has supplied the funds for me to do this, I'm going to go ahead and punch the button on it. So look for a self-published date for The Art of Chess, hopefully within a month. And I'll let you know when that happens. Of course, then I will promote The Art of Chess for probably a couple months. Not to the exclusivity. It's not like I won't talk about the papers. It's just that I will focus on getting people to buy The Art of Chess. Now, the one problem with The Art of Chess is I haven't edited it all, so hopefully they will do a good job of editing through the work and all that. If they're not willing to do that, then I have to get my assistants to do that. And maybe even, beg some students for their time and assistance to go through and kind of shred the book and get it all edited, because obviously I'm not going to go to print on a rough draft. So that might slow it down for getting it published, but it's supposed to provide some editing services. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Pray for me. That we're able to get that book out, because the Hidden Kentucky, this is a viable method, then the Hidden Kentucky books could all be done through the same one clearinghouse and getting it done in a format that we want, which is, because a major publisher is not going to want to put all of those color images into their books. So basically that leaves us with self-publishing, and if we're doing self-publishing, the question is, will we be able to really create a beautiful textbook? I have a vision for the textbooks where each of the books lined up, that there's an image on the side on the spine. So I'd like to work towards that vision, and I'm sure that in the beginning we'll have to have regular covers for the text, but then on a second edition through where any updates or corrections are made, then we'll be able to change the cover. But I just hope that this is a viable method, because otherwise I don't know when I will have the time to put together the entire Hidden Destinations in Kentucky series to put out to you all. And it is something I want to get out within the next 2 years, because otherwise it's just been a lot of money and time spent. It's like a second job or third job, because the second job would be teaching Tai Chi and kids Kung Fu. So it means a lot to me, and I want to get it out there. So wish me luck on that. Well, I don't have any specific lessons to give today. I think it's important to brush up on your self-defense. I think it's important to focus on your health. Yesterday, the kids learned about the owner's system. Just to remind you what the owner's health system is It's an acronym for oxygen, water, nutrition, energy, exercise, rest, and relaxation, and self. And don't forget the self-care. That's such an important one. There's so many patients that I have come in, and the reason why they're so unhealthy and they have no chi and their essence is depleted is because they don't take care of themselves. It's not just money that can do that. And please remember that that is just a system for helping you to manage your physical health. And your physical health is one of 5 arenas that we talk about: physical health, mental, spiritual, social, and financial. And never forget the financial, because that is energy, right? It was your time and which is your essence. Everything is your essence, really, but your time and your energy, your sweat equity put into a tangible form. Don't let it be taken. I tell you what, I thought I lost a $100 bill the other day, and I could feel the actual drain on my psychology from just even thinking that it was lost. I mean, just it's not that I'm super tied to the $100. It was the energy that it really struck me as to how much energy is stored in those bills. So, fascinating thing. Another argument for the super rich, where they're able to live off of the sweat equity of others, so that they lose $1 million, it's not too hard for them, because it wasn't theirs to begin with, right? It was somebody else's hard-earned money. But anyways, that's getting super theoretical. I have nothing more to add this morning. If you have any questions, feel free to send them. And by the way, if you ever have the chance to pronounce, it's pronounced Charon or Kehran, not Sharon or Sharon or anything. If you ever see that, don't meanly correct people, but they should know that that's incorrectly pronounced. So it happens frequently that these astronomical bodies are mispronounced. Anyways, just a thought in case it comes up. Bye.